the university and just the student life, has to share, has to offer, I think is really important. And, given me where I go to Harvard, I always, back in my mind, thought government was really my thing. And then I really got to learn about, like last semester, I took a course on urban social problems. Something that really wasn't paid to me. I'm from a small town, and I'm studying on urban social problems and just studying how people work. And that was really helpful for me. And it was really interesting to learn, the characteristics of people and why they behave the way they do. That was interesting for me, and that was one thing. Plus, getting to go to these functions and meeting these great speakers, and and one thing too is you do get access to the Kennedy School and to the law school, and so I definitely take advantage of those things. Take advantage of if graduate schools, if they offer cross-curricular enrollment, or if they offer different forms, to take advantage of them and definitely get involved.
Yeah, you mentioned in there talking to friends, getting involved in like different groups. I've read one of the groups you're involved in is Harvard Democrats. Can you talk a little about that, like how you fell into that and what your experience has been?
Sure. Well, how I first got acquainted with them is we have a student activities fair. I'm certain most colleges have them, and that's definitely, I definitely recommend you go to those. Definitely. Kind of tough for me going from a small town. I was involved in every club that you could think of in my school. I was president of it, but not easy to do that at Harvard. There's quite a few.
But I have a pretty full plate.
Yeah, you couldn't do that. I would recommend it. I'm all for having an open mind. Just don't embrace everything. Definitely at least think about it. But, I was always political. I always found myself liking politics, and I definitely saw Harvard College Democrats. And so I signed up with them, and I went to meetings, and we have weekly meetings. And I can tell you a lot of the time, too, is when you're at college, at Harvard especially, you're spending a lot of time in extracurriculars. You are. And it's really helpful. I mean, there's a purpose to it, and I definitely recommend getting involved with things that you're really passionate about or you really have wanted to try. And so getting to go to those weekly meetings and meeting my friends. A lot of my friends I met are from, including my roommate, I met through different organizations. And so it's getting to really learn issues, and you get to take part in other things too that are not just about college and Democrats and politics. You get to take part in other social activities. So it was really helpful for me. And so, as in the cases with all my other groups as well.
Yeah, I think there's really one key to college life in general is to just survey the different groups and really get involved in a couple, because just like you, my closest friends come from the groups that I'm really deeply involved in.
Absolutely. Freshman year, I ended up finding myself signed up for 12 things, turned into 8 things within 2 weeks, turned into 5 things. So now I'm in a solid 3 or 4 things. And absolutely. Nothing wrong with the freshman year. Definitely trying going to the meetings, but don't get overwhelmed. Just because you have all these opportunities doesn't mean you have to fully immerse yourself in every one of them. Find things that really stick to you, and just set aside time too to realize you need me time too. So having the class time, extracurriculars, and just me time, whether that be whatever you do with friends or things that are just outside of organized recreation.
Yeah. All right, man. Cesar, thank you so much for taking the time. I want to get you on one last question. The question is, if you could give one piece of advice to an incoming freshman, you just got accepted, you just stepped onto campus, what would you tell him or her? How would you make the best impression, make the best setup for your next 4 years?
Come in with an open mind. Definitely have an open mind. Don't fear failure. One thing I really learned is not to strive, and don't go for things where you know you're going to perfect it. I think the most important thing to do is not strive for perfection, but strive for excellence. And I think by getting involved with all these organizations, those things come over time. And so having that open mind and really trying a lot of new things, you become a better person out of it. So never fear failure. You become a better person out of it, and striving for that excellence is really a much better thing than striving for perfection.
No, that's great. Thank you so much, guys. Again, my name is Seven Strong from my valley. This is Cesar. We'll see you next time. Thanks.